All right, we're live. Salam alaikum. Good afternoon to you and good morning to our viewers. Munir, how are you, sir?
Alaikum salam. Doing good, doing good. Good morning to everyone. Happy European Labor's Day, if anyone is celebrating.
Is it
Where
whole
people of
Europe or just Bosnia?
whole Europe, where people don't work and where like public service people go to protest for their rights and whatnot, just like a tradition. And usually in Bosnia, how we celebrate this day is we roast a lamb,
Nice.
um, and that's a long-standing tradition.
You guys should
People.
order lunch today, some roasted lamb if you can get it, and we'll pay for it.
Well,
HQ will pay for it.
alrighty. Other people of Europe, unlike Bosnians, are not roasting lamb. They're protesting for their rights in front of the government buildings, throwing cow feces on the government buildings and something like that. But
Damn.
that's what they usually do in France and Netherlands and Belgium. Whereas in Bosnia, uh, the day of the day of Labor Day is celebrated by going on a sabbatical and not laboring or not working anything. Unless you work for RBS, where everyone is in the office trying to book our drivers
It's
in USA.
it's good to be in Bosnia then.
Indeed.
All right, man. May 1st. So let's go ahead and go through this. We
May
booked.
1st was. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, you go ahead. You start first if you want.
43 drivers were booked out of 55 available. 78% of our fleet was utilized, which is higher than the last few days. 12 were not booked. We had 586 bids and won 4 loads. Our win ratio is up to 8.5%. Average driver pay 637, which has kind of been the right around the average that we've seen. Um, did you want to add something?
Yeah, you said we booked 4 loads. It
Did
was a
I?
blooper, but we booked 48 loads.
43. Oh, 43 drivers booked. 48 loads.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I just said four.
Yeah, you said
Nice.
we had 586 bids and we booked 4 loads.
Nice. Next up, go ahead and go over these.
Yeah, it's pretty much the only people that are code red, as we say, high priorities. First one is 569. Our brother there is stuck down in Oklahoma. Oklahoma has been weird this week, or that region has been weird this week. Let me go through some of the stats when it comes to this particular driver. Yesterday we had 9 bids from Oklahoma City. Usually we have more bids out of Oklahoma City, and this is just the whole beginning of the week is terrible. Now the problem with Oklahoma is once you're there and something like this happens, it's not easy to relocate because everything is too far out, pretty much. And but we're doing our best to get this resolved today. If nothing happens, really, we as a company will cover fuel for this driver at least for him to go to greener pastures for us to try to book him because 9 loads whole day and it's just too low of a
Yeah.
pool for us to book him. That's the first driver. The second driver that's on the list, 585. He delivered in Florida. Um, we booked him on one short load in Florida. Then he got stuck there again. So we kind of booked him Miami to Orlando or something like that. So he got stuck there again when he delivered Monday noon. And since Monday noon, so day and a half, we didn't book him. Yesterday, there were actually quite a few opportunities for him. We had 21 bids, and then all of those bids, because he was on a what we call PIT discount, were lower than what we even usually bid. So we were bidding like 60 cents a mile to get him out of Florida. All of them were lower. Out of 21 bids, 100% of those bids were lower, and we failed to book this driver. And now he's relocating to Atlanta. He's close to Atlanta right now, and I think he will not be on the list tomorrow, but still long waiting time indeed. And
Mm-hmm.
the final last person on the list was 347, who delivered a giant load, well-paid load as well in British Columbia in Vancouver, and he just relocated to US to the nearest city that is Seattle, and he finished somewhere around the Monday noon, and we're still looking to book him. Uh, we had 18 bids on this driver.
Mm. Wow.
Also, yeah, also that's a high number of bids in my opinion out of Washington, but still also all of those bids, all of those bids were 60 cents a mile, around 60 cents a mile, even going to Texas, even going to Alabama, even going to, and we we failed to book our guy. So we did everything on our end. We sometimes it's you guys you drivers don't realize, but sometimes the level of humility I would say that we need to go through when the driver is in such area
Mm.
is really beyond expression, and
Yeah.
we pretty much begged for these loads and we
Yeah.
didn't. You
Yeah.
know, some of them, yes,
Yeah, we'll do our best, man, to get these guys moving and obviously prevent others from entering the code red times. You know, everyone knows the time we're in right now in logistics and trucking industry, and all I can say, man, is it is what it is. We'll continue to optimize and do our best, and make sure we have good relationships with the customers and are able to get our drivers top dollar, and avoid these extended waiting times. Um, but it's tough. So we had 10 Canada shipments yesterday. One of them was delayed. The other nine were cleared. These delays happen every once in a while. We talk about that most often. It's just a matter of the customer, the customs broker, or somebody didn't provide us with proper paperwork. So, but yeah, good job to our ops team for handling those. So driver spotlight. Omer left a comment. The driver has a home by date for tomorrow, meaning he was trying to get home by the next day. Yet he agreed to help us out with the recovering a load going to Michigan with no questions asked. The driver lives in Iowa. Um, is generally dependable and reliable guy for recoveries. How do you pronounce the name?
Isa is just
East.
yeah, he's just spelled
Yeah.
differently
Al-Hajj.
than Al-Hajj. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Awesome, man. Yeah, great job. Thank you, Isa. These drivers, these situations where drivers are willing to jump in and make an exception to some situation they have going on and help us out mean a lot to us. It helps us preserve that reputable quality carrier brand. We try to advertise to our customers, and we greatly appreciate it. Somebody actually left us a comment, Mr. S, saying good morning, guys. Good morning to you, Mr. S. Who's
good
Mr. S?
morning. I don't know, Mr. S.
Mr. S is in the building.
Maybe his brother Nader Sanduka or something like that.
Maybe. We'll wait for Mr. S to clarify who he is. Show your face, Mr. S. Um, Haris had 262 bids, 19 booked loads. Muhammad had 164 with 14 booked loads. Um, Haris with the lower win bid ratio, mostly because of the increased amount of bids, and then Omer coming in third. That hybrid role that he does, as we always say. Good job, team. Everyone putting in the maximum effort. You guys see the amount of work it takes to get these loads
Indeed,
booked.
indeed.
Okay, go. You can go ahead and go over this.
Yeah, it's a long, long load. Picking up in I think it's St. Louis, Missouri, going to St. John, New Brunswick, from
Wow.
one Saint to another. And it's 1,771 miles for 2,200 dollars. Now, take into account, please, that the driver will need to relocate around 500 miles back to the nearest star city, what we call it, or the nearest good city, that's Boston, Massachusetts, from which we will be able to book our driver. It's $1.25 USD per mile.
Yeah, $1.25 a mile with this kind of a load is absolutely amazing. Minnesota to PA, 11.45 on the miles for 700. It's lower than we normally book out of this area.
It
Um,
is.
do you know what happened with this one?
I think it was DIT discount as well. This
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. I mean, 1100 miles, we want to be at normally from Minnesota around 800, 850, but every once in a while you get into these weird situations where you've submitted 15, 20, 30 bids and you haven't gotten anything at the normal rate. So, the next logical thing to do is to drop the rate down a little bit. Um, Next up, we got the highest RPM, 100 miles for 175, $1.68 a mile, Missouri to Illinois, a little shorty. Next up, yesterday's on-time performance was 96%. We're floating always right around that 97, 98 mark.
Mm,
Three unjustified late arrivals. So two, the 81 times we were on time. Good job, guys. We appreciate you guys providing good communication. We appreciate you guys working hard to be on time. Obviously, the number one tip for on time is leave early. Anticipate that there's going to be some delays along the way and then provide good communication. If it's not your fault, it's not going to count against you, but you just have to provide good communication. Anything you want to add on this?
not really.
All right. Drivers with the best on time performance for the month of April. We got, oh, that's cool. I like that she added that. That's a fun little thing. So we got Roland, Richard, and Rauda with 100% on-time performance, all with more than 40 stops. 40 stops mean there were 20 loads or more in most cases.
Amazing work.
Good job, guys. Amazing job. All right, safety first. Here's some useful tips for daily use. Recognize signs of fatigue, take regular breaks, and use caffeine wisely. Yeah, absolutely, man. We know we always talk about this. Don't put yourself in a situation where you have to jeopardize your safety for any reason. Don't agree to do a load. Don't be in service. Use your dispatch settings wisely. And then if all else fails and you do find yourself driving and you do find yourself getting tired, we always encourage drivers to prioritize safety. So communicate to us, pull over, rest until you're ready to continue again, but don't put yourself in a situation where you could find asleep behind the wheel.
Indeed. I not a professional driver, was not a professional driver. So you guys know more than me. Caffeine always helps.
Yeah, but it's a deceiving, like she said, like that slide said, use it wisely. Because I've seen people over rely on it. I've seen people damage their health with it. I've seen people,
Right.
think it's like a super drug that you take it and then your fatigue is gonna go away. So use it wisely. Um, if you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person. Steve Harvey. I love this quote. I absolutely believe in it. In
How does this guy have always has the energy he has, man? Like he's always like on the next
and he's like
level.
70 too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I once listened to him explaining his backstory, how he started down in Florida and then he moved to New York with like $3, $4 in his pocket, and it was just insane. The whole story is insane, and when you think about it, the guy deserves it, man. Always that energy, always the hard work, always the success
Mm-hmm.
is what he deserves, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just an amazing story.
Yeah. Um, I mean, people that say these things, right? Like they sometimes sound like they're just big fluffy words. But then when you see the story and you see someone who climbed from the bottom up and you see someone who was bold enough and brave enough to set such lofty, big dreams. Um, they lived the story. They didn't just say a quote. They didn't just say a story. They are living proof of it. And absolutely, I mean, like when you share your dreams with someone who is small-minded, it can really kill them because if you allow that person's feedback to affect you too much, and you have to have like an ironclad will in order for it not to affect you, right? Because when you share something and someone just takes a dump on it and someone just, completely shatters it, you can easily walk away from that. So surround yourself with the right people, surround yourself with people who are going to believe in your dreams, and who are going to help you, find the holes that need to be filled and help you fill those holes to achieve that dream rather than just being a no person who's, due to their own small-mindedness, who is just going to say, no, man, you can't do that. That's not going to be possible. Love it.
Indeed.
All right, next up we have BHX has a book club.